Neelambujasyamalakோமலாங்கம் Sita Samaropita Vamabhagam Panau Mahasayaka Charuchapam Namami Ramam Raghuvamshanatam Atulita Baladhamam Hema Shailabadeham Danujavana Krishanum Jnaninam Agraganyam Sakala Guna Nidhanam Vanaranam Adhisham Raghupati Priya Bhaktam Vatajatam Namami. So why should we chant the HanumanChalisa, right? We started looking into this. Why should we chant the Chalisa? Chanting helps us actually in many ways. I told you, just the rhythmic saying of a prayer calms us down. Just saying it, without even knowing the meaning, without actually going into any of the details, just rhythmic chanting will help to calm us down. It's like, watching your breath. So actually, it makes just that quietness that it brings to us helps us to be more efficient. Efficient in everything. Because we've conserved our energy, we made our mind quiet, we're able to do things more efficiently. And of course, as you keep thinking, understanding the meaning of these words, it fills us with rich values and virtues. Because remember, I keep saying this over and over again, prayer is not praying on God, but we are invoking those potential right within us, right? And so what happens, if we want to succeed in life in doing anything, whether it's spiritual path or whether it's anything in our worldly endeavors as well, we will get that ability right from within us. It'll be from within us that we can invoke that potential and bring it out so we can be successful in what we undertake. And of course, we'll have peace of mind. Not only just that quietness which comes with this prayer, but also when we start doing our things to the best of our abilities, that itself will bring a lot of peace to us. A job well done is the greatest satisfaction, right? So, and of course in times of challenges, which we all will face at some point or the other, no one is exempt, no one is unique, no one is special. All of us will have challenges, and if we build up with these prayers, invoking those all our own qualities right within us, we will be able to face challenges. So feel Hanumanji's presence within each one of us, within yourself. Start looking for those things right within you and connect to that. So in the first doha, it said, with the dust of the lotus feet of my Guru, I'm going to cleanse the mirror of my mind so that I can sing his glories of Raghuvar. And by doing that, all the 4 pursuits of a human birth can be accomplished. Under the umbrella of Dharma, we are going to fulfill our desires as who we are right now, and also whatever acquisitions that we need to get to make our life comfortable, people who depend on us comfortable, we'll do that under the umbrella of Dharma. When that is done, we pave the way for our own goal of life, which is moksha. So everything is put in place for us. Our Hindu way of living has actually put things in place for us. We don't have to worry at all if we can sort of focus on these most important things. So we took one verb from the first doha. We said we'll purify. Purify in the sense we're going to chant the Chalisa or chant a prayer and quieten our minds, and that is purification. So chant prayers daily. The second doha is, please recite with me. Buddhihina tanu janike sumirau pavana kumar bala buddhi vidya dehu mohi harahu kalesha vikar. So he's saying, Buddhihina tanu janike. Tulsidas ji is saying, I'm ignorant. Hanumanji, I'm ignorant. And he says, so I pray to you. So what do I want from Lord Hanumanji? He's saying, Tulsidas ji is saying, give me buddhi, bala, as well as vidya. And then he's asking for one more thing. He says, please take away all my klesha and vikar. He's asking for that as well. Right away, he wants Hanumanji to bestow him with everything, right? So buddhihina tanu janike means being ignorant. What we think is we're just this. This physical body of matter is all that we think we are. We are so special, unique, we've forgotten. And all our focus is on this physical matter body. So I've forgotten that I'm something more special. I've forgotten that I'm also unique, like everything else in this universe. I have that source of truth and peace right within me. We've forgotten, right? And so you just think about it. If we did not have the God principle flowing through us and making us function, what would we be? Of no use, if that life principle was not within us. So he says, I've forgotten that, Lord. I've forgotten that I am you. And he says, Sumirao too. Sumirao means a way of connecting to the Lord by remembering him. He says, in this beautiful prayer, what actually, anytime we do a prayer, we're bringing this individual and this entity called God back together. Back together. Right? And so in our, method of praying, there are 5 things that are prescribed for any effective prayer. First, keep an open mind. That's being humble. Don't keep on second-guessing yourself. Is this prayer going to be effective? Really? Really? Is Hanuman within me? How can it be? Don't have those things. I do have that potential. Don't put yourself down. Ever, never put yourself down. If we have that God principle in us, we just can't be some small trivial thing. I just read something recently in a text that if God is like fire, we are all like sparks. The same heat, the same light is within us as well. So we are not some just, nothing. Don't ever do that to yourself. Huh? And then so, humility, keep an open mind. Of course, you have to think of the Lord when you pray. And we do sing his glories because then those are the things that we want to think of and bring into our lives as well. And you ask, and we'll go into what we want to ask, and also we want to offer. So humility, keeping an open mind, remembrance, singing the glories, asking and offering is a part of this package called prayer. And then he says, who does he? He says, Pavana Kumara. Sumirao Pavana Kumar. Pavana Kumar, of course, is son of the wind god, Vayuputra. And we all know, without air, none of us would be around. So essential to life, and we don't even think about it and don't even notice it. So Vayu is serving us so quietly all the time. And also, air is such a purifier too. So Hanumanji has the qualities of Vayu, his Vayu fully in him. So he serves selflessly all the time. And also, remembering him brings a lot of purity to us as well. So we glorify the Lord, his virtues, and we internalize them as we say these prayers. Actually, even saying, there are 5 ways to pray. This is even in our life when we want to work or anything. These are ingredients for success. So, first is humility, right? It's important. Keeping an open mind is very important if we want to learn, to progress, and to get along with others and build relationships. Very important at work, right? And then constant remembrance of whatever goal we're pursuing at that moment. If it's a job at hand, we have to remember that. That's very important that our focus remains there. And then we should really forget ourselves in that. And then only can you give your best. When you forget yourself, you're doing 100% to that job at hand, right? And of course, surrender to the highest. Always keep that big vision and open yourself to that. You see how work flows through you afterwards. And what do you ask when God comes in front of you? Say, let's just imagine. The Lord himself appears in front of us. We should never ask for paltry things. There's actually a story, I'll tell you that sometime. But when he comes in front of you, what you should ask is, it should be in such a way that there's nothing more to ask after that. So we can all sort of think and be prepared. Next time we really have an encounter with God, ask in such a way that he has to give you everything and there's nothing more you can ask him. So Tulsi Dasji here is asking for Bala, Buddhi, Vidya first here. So what is Bala? Of course, it is physical strength. All of us have to be healthy so that we can do anything in this world, with peace of mind. Good health is very important. So Hanumanji represents good health as well. That is strength. Then the other thing is being steadfast in our duty. If you remember our sadhana panchakam, Vedo nityam adhiyatam taduditam karma swanushthiyatam. We have to do our daily duties. And our daily duties, we said, was nitya and naimittika karmas. Our duty, we should not forget. If we keep our mind in that, I'll tell you, everything else falls into place. So, being steadfast in our duty, we need strength for that. Not to get, distracted and then do something else and then not being able to do our job well at hand. So, ask for that strength and, of course, physical strength as well. And buddhi is intelligent and vidya is knowledge. So you get your knowledge, but being able to have the wisdom to bring it into practice is more important. Otherwise, it's all right here. So to be able to bring that vidya and make it your wisdom so that you bring it into life is bala, buddhi, vidya. Vidya, buddhi. So we should be able to live. After we learn something, we have to think about it and see how we can make it a part of our life. Then you start seeing the beauty of the results. Any study that you do, you see the beauty of those results come through you in your life. So anytime we have a satsang or you pick up a book, an inspirational book, take one point or something and internalize it. So having the knowledge of right and wrong is extremely important, right? That's the first thing. That's your knowledge. But then we have to have the strength and wisdom to be able to live it as well, bring it into my life. And of course, the highest knowledge is knowing about our true self. In our Hindu dharma, that's the highest knowledge. Who are you? Who's this God entity? Who's this? What's all this world around you? What's the connection? That is the highest knowledge that we should aspire for. So that we ask of Hanumanji, even that capacity he'll give us. And after getting that, there's nothing more we need to know in life. Done. Job well done. Because that means once you've discovered that source right within you, you're going to handle everything really beautifully, even as we are alive. Every little thing we'll be able to deal with in the best possible way because we are coming from the source of strength, which is that God entity itself. Now, we got something from God. So let's offer something back to him. And if you think of this, what does God not own here? We keep on saying, everywhere, everything is God. So what can we offer which does not belong to him? Every time we do our prayers in the mandir area, in that Jai Jagadisha Hare, the last one says, Tera tujhko arpan kya lage mera. So you're saying, yours, I'm giving back to you. There's nothing that belongs to us. Right? So what can we give? And what's Tulsi Dasji here saying? How cleverly he's going to say something. Very cleverly he says, please remove all my kleshas and all my vikaras. What are the kleshas? He says, I'll go to that later. Uh, Kleshas and vikaras are these negativities in our mind that we hold on to. Although we know it's not right, we hold on to it. And we find it so hard to give it up as well. So he's saying, Harahu Kalesha Vika, please just remove it, snatch it away from me, Lord. Hanumanji, just snatch it away because I'm still holding on to them. Actually, all our negativities pulls us down, drags us down. Anything you think of, we hold grudges. If somebody has done something, we're not ready to forgive and move on. Some dislike, they did something to me 10 years ago, still hurting me. You still, what you did 10 years ago still bothers me. And we are not ready to let go of it at all. And what is it doing? It's weighing us down. And so what's the purpose of holding on to this? And it's so funny, we talk about attachment to our near and dear ones, and we say, oh, Vedanta wants us to give up all these things. How come we want to hold on to negative things then? Why do we find it so hard to give away the negatives? So Tulsi Jasi is very smart. He knows our psychology and his own, actually. He's saying, I'm holding on to this, although I know it's not good for me. So he's asking Hanumanji, please take away these kleshas and vikaras, right? So there's a small story about a very greedy man. Okay, what does he do? He's once being washed away in a flood, and his life has been one of give me, give me, give me, right? Not I'll give, I'll give, I'll give. Anyway, so he's now being washed away in a flood, and his friend who knows him very well, somehow gets a boat, and he's just rushing to help him. And when he goes there, he goes and asks, he says, give me your hand, I'll save you, come on, give me your hand. And this guy's hesitating because he's never given anything. So the guy quickly understands, says, take my hand. And the next thing is that guy grabs and he brings him back. So we know what is not all right sometimes, but we're not ready to let go. And it plays like a gramophone record in your head, some of the negative things. You're like, I don't want to think of it, but it's like, keeps on going. So God does not come to help us until we seek his help. Until we start invoking those qualities in him, those positive qualities in us, of his, he just leaves us alone. Go on with your business. It gives you joy, remembering all those things over. Okay, chalta hai, I'm not going to interfere. But I'll tell you, the minute we start making a connection with this God, making a connection with that potential within us, I'll tell you something. It's like a dead rat in your closet which you have discovered. You would not like some of the negative things that goes on in our mind, which you've let it go for many lives. Puja Gurudev would always say this. He'd say, you're not aware of this dead rat in your closet because you have a bad cold and you can't smell. But once your cold clears up, you say, oh gosh, what is that smell in the room? And you just, turn everything upside down till you can find the dead rat and throw it. So when we start these quiet moments of prayer, when we start these type of reflection, as you strengthen your positive qualities, you'll also want none of those negativities to give, you don't want to give it strength. That also happens. So Tulsi Jasi is asking, there are 5 types of kleshas and then 6 types of vikaras. He says, I have these in me and I've kept it very tightly guarded and I can't get rid of this, Lord. And you know what? You come and snatch it away. So what are these 5 kleshas? 5 kleshas are avidya. I think it's in your book. I'm sure it is. Are avidya, which is not knowing that strength is within me, that potential is within. I've forgotten that. That is my ignorance. Take it away, please. And then what do? Because of not knowing that, I constantly think, I'm like, I'm so, I'm a useless person. I'm not so good. I'm not this. No. So that also is another mistake that we do. That's another klesha that we have, and that's called as asmita. Avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha. Raga, dvesha is a strong likes and dislikes. Nobody can budge us in that. Such strong likes and dislikes which makes us do things or avoid things. And finally, abhinivesha, which is the fear of death. Fear of death, which all of us have. So he says, please remove these 5 kleshas. And the 6 vikaras of the mind are, of course, you're all very familiar. Kama, krodha, moha, lobha, mada, matsarya. These selfish desires, unnecessary anger, not needed, which will actually increase our blood pressure, cause all kinds of harmful physical things to ourselves, and spoil relationships. Lobha, greed. Moha, delusion. Mada is arrogance of our little accomplishments. And then matsarya is jealousy. So as those positive virtues in me be reinforced, please, Lord, remove those negativities as well within me. And Hanuman has this power of doing that and making sure that our positive things come out of us. So in this doha, the message, the verb we're going to look at for our life to bring it into our practice is offer. Offer our negativities to the Lord. And in this regard, I'll tell you a very cute experiment that we do with our little children in first grade, which will help you make this meaning stick for us. So in the first grade, the curriculum is about Lord Rama. And then what happens is, as they study about the life of Lord Rama, time comes for Lord Rama to marry Sita. So the class gets very excited. The teacher tells the children that next week, we're going to see Lord Rama and Sita get married, so everybody wear your nice clothes and everything, and all of them talk about the wedding. And then we say, wait a minute, when we go to a wedding, we have to take a gift. Don't you take a gift? Don't mom and dad take a gift when they go to... Oh, yes, they take a gift. Then we say, well, we have to give something to Lord Rama as well. We're going to their wedding. And then we ask them, but God has everything. What do we give God who has everything? And then the children also, we allow them to think, and we'll say, you know what we'll do? God can do anything, right? So we'll actually, something that we don't like in us, we'll write it on a little slip and put it in a gift box and give it to him. And guess what? Rama is going to make it all better and give it back to us, actually. This is really a win-win situation, so let's do that. So the kids do a little experiment the week before. They write something on a piece of paper and drop it into a nice gift box and wait for the next week and offer it to Rama. Of course, you can guess what the children write. Please let me eat broccoli. Let me eat what mommy gives. Let me not trouble my sister too much. All these type of things. But I have to tell you something, which a parent told me about 4 years ago. That shows what faith children have and see how it works. So I was just having a parent, just had gathered a few parents, and I was talking to them to see how things were going at the mission. And one of the parents, with almost tears in her eyes, she said, I have to say something. She said, you remember that experiment you asked the children to do in first grade? I said, oh, yeah, we do. And, they write things like this. She said, no, I have to tell you something. For years, we've been struggling with our child who keeps biting his nails. Could not stop biting his nails. And I'm sure all of us have, one of us have had a child like that who keeps biting the nails or putting their hand in the nose, and you're like, take your hand, don't do that, right? So this parent said they've tried everything. Putting bitter stuff on the hands. We do all those things. Or tying up with a little bit of cloth or something so that it reminds them. But she said nothing had worked. And that kid actually wrote, Lord Rama, help me stop biting my nails. But she said, he did stop right after that. He stopped biting his nails right after that and has not bitten his nails. She started crying. This is the faith of a child, and it works. So, if something is beyond our control, something that we don't have we feel like, I don't know what to do about this, don't give it too much strength. Just offer it to the Lord to take care. But you don't give it too much strength. That's the key. Don't think about it and say, I have this. Don't. You say, you know what? At this time, I feel a little helpless about this. I know you're everywhere and right here too, so you can hear me, and open up to that window. And you see how it works. So now let's do the first chopai. So offer is the verb from the second doha. So purify, offer. Jai Hanuman Jnana Guna Sagar. Jai Kapi Sati Huloka Ujagar. Together. Jai Hanuman Jnana Guna Sagar. Jai Kapi Sati Huloka Ujagar. So Jai, victory, victory to this great Lord. Victory to him. The best among all the devotees. Victory to him. Who is he? Jnana Guna Sagar. He is the abode of knowledge and also all the virtues. All the virtues. And who is he? Kapi Isa. Kapisha. In Avadhi it becomes Kapisa. He's the lord of all the monkeys, the leader of the monkeys, and the lord of the three worlds. Tihu Loka Ujagar. He is the lord of the three worlds. And we'll see the meaning of this in more detail. So Jnana, he was the great scholar. He was not just an ordinary monkey. A great scholar who had learned from Lord Surya himself. So determined that he has to learn all the Vedas. And he did. And then he's also called Nava Vyakarana Pandita. He knew the 9 types of Sanskrit grammar. Have you all tried Sanskrit grammar? Huh? How many of you know Sanskrit? Okay. So, and you know how tough that grammar is, especially if you start at an older age, right? I mean, I've tried. That's why I'm telling you. You know, it's very logical, extremely logical, the most logical language ever. Fantastic if you learn it. So that one little grammar, we sort of say, oh, vibhakti, oh, dhatus, this and that. And can you imagine? He knew 9 types of the grammar. Nava Vyakarana Pandita. And in fact, Lord Rama recognized his scholarly abilities, his Panditya, the minute he met him the first time in that Kishkinda forest. Because as soon as he saw him, the way, although Hanuman was disguised as a Brahmin, the way he spoke, his communication skills, immediately Rama actually looked towards Lakshmana and said, this is not somebody ordinary. Looks like he's a great Pandita. Great Pandita, right? So Jnana, Guna Sagar. Abode of virtues. We say values and virtues. So many times we say that, right? So values are just here. You know, you hear about it, intellectually you know about it. But when you bring it into your life, it's our virtue. So he's an abode of virtues. So he had knowledge as well as virtues, and always humble, engaged in the service of the Lord alone. So anything that we hear of a value, when we bring it into our life and then surrender to the Lord, that has reached its acme. That has reached the peak. And he's also Kapisa. Kapisa is leader of the monkeys. And you know, in Hanuman's qualities, you can actually see so many qualities of a leader, and that we actually can emulate to bring into our lives as well. Everywhere, we are a leader to somebody. It's at home to our children. At work, there might be people looking up to us. In social circles, people might be watching you. Right? In fact, in the Bhagavad Gita, it says, Yad yad acharati shreshtaha tatta deve taro janaha. Shrayat pramanam kurute lokas tadanu vartate. So people are watching us everywhere. Our children watch us at home. The way we carry ourselves, the way we behave. I'll tell you, that's more something that they'll follow than what we ask them to do. You know that. right? So Hanuman was such a great leader that he took care of all his people with so much love and compassion that they were completely in tune with him. Although Sugriva was the king, all the monkeys were completely in tune with Hanumanji. And Kapisa also means the one who drinks or revels in true happiness. That means he's the one who's discovered that he is that truth which is everywhere that's right with him as well. And he's also said, Tihuloka Ujagara, he's known in all three worlds. He's very famous. He's very famous. But also, he's present in all three worlds of us as well. What do you mean by three worlds in us? How much of a world we spin during waking hours, and in dream to the worlds we go to, and deep sleep is another world as well. It's called three worlds. Waking, dream, and deep sleep in each one of us is a world, and so the consciousness which is present through all these states is called as Hanumanji himself. Okay, so he's Loka Uja, so Jnana Guna Sagara, right? And he's the one, Kapis, he's the lord of the monkeys, as well as he is consciousness present in each one of us. So the verb we're going to take from this to our lives is prioritize. Purify, offer, prioritize. What do we want to do with this prioritize? All these days, we're so busy with our attention outwards, with things that we do outwards. Let's bring some focus to ourselves. As I told you, we'll start becoming aware of things, and so strengthen what is positive in us, and slowly think of the negativities and how you can sort of get over them as well. The tools we want to use you'll see how in areas where you're stubborn, where you don't want to change, you become aware of that. And then only can we offer it, right? So prioritize. You become the priority. Your introspection, let it become a priority. Okay, Ramaduta Atulita Bala. Ramaduta Atulita Bala Dama. Anjani Putra Pavana Sutanama. Ramaduta Atulita Baladama. Anjani Putra Pavana Sutanama. 5 names are given to Hanumanji in this. Ramaduta, Atulita Baladama, Anjani Putra, Pavana Sutta, as well as Nama. Nama is also his name here. So we'll see each one of them and the stories associated with it, the symbolism, and then what's the message we can take from this Chaupai. So when we introduce ourselves, if they ask me, I'll say, I'm Shashi. And then I'll say, Dwarkanath's wife, if they ask me, any relationship, or mother of this person, or whatever my job profession is, I might mention all that, or I might even, associate with Chinmaya mission. These might be the things that we would say. But for Hanumanji, his primary identity was Ramadut. In fact, in Tulsi Ramayana, when he meets Sita ji, and finally she says, who's this? Who's come in front of me? He says, Ramadut hu Main Mata Janaki, he says. I am the messenger of Lord Rama. That again shows how completely he had surrendered. His introduction was always associated with his boss, Lord Rama. And so you can see, if we sort of identify with something bigger, how we see small things fall off. Like a freedom fighter, he's always associated with the cause that he stood for. Somebody working for a community and, is completely forgetting, we always associated them with that. And here he is the servant of the Lord himself, Ramaduta, messenger of the God. And he has brought so many people to Bhagwan Rama as well. That's another meaning of Ramaduta. A messenger's job is not easy. Now let's look at his little journey, big journey from Bharat to when he went to Sri Lanka to give the message to Sita ji. Right? First of all, leaping across the ocean, an unthinkable feat, right? He was able to do that. And then, many obstacles were placed in his way before he could really go meet Sita ji. He had Mount Mainak Parvata on top, asking him to rest. He had this serpent, Surasa, who wanted to gobble him up. And then, of course, there was that invisible demoness, Simhika, who tried to pull him down. And when he went and reached Lanka, of course, although he wanted to give the message of Sri Ram to Ravana and get back Sita in a diplomatic way, he faced his own problems, challenges there as well. His tail was set on fire. So job of a messenger is not easy. And all he has to do, a messenger is somebody who can't really go, and Hanumanji could have fought and killed so many people and, destroyed Lanka completely. But a messenger should do only what he's asked to do. Convey just the right message, do what is asked, and come out safely. Right? So first of all, let's look at Mainak Parvat. As he was flying across, the first obstacle was this huge mountain came up and said, Hanumanji, wait, take rest. There's beautiful forests here with so many fruits. There are streams, cold, cool water. It's a long journey for you. Why don't you rest? And Hanumanji says, thank you, no thank you. He says, Ram kaj karo bina, mohe kaha vishram. I have to first fulfill what I'm going for. It's Lord Rama's work. I have no time for vishram. No time to rest. Thanks, Mainak Parvata, and he moves on. Next comes, as he's just flying across, a huge serpent comes out of the water, ocean. And then it says, what's this? Fantastic meal today. Look at this strong, monkey flying here. Come on, come into my mouth. Hanumanji wonders, whoever would say, come on, come into my mouth? Why wouldn't she just gobble me up? He says, Mata, again he addresses her very respectfully. He says, sorry, I have to do Rama's work, please. Let me go. When I come back, I'll be your food. She says, nothing doing. Who's going to trust you? She says, enter my mouth right now. And then Hanumanji says, looks like it's going to be a battle. So he says, let me see if I grow bigger. So he expands, you know the story. And then Surasa also opens her mouth bigger. Hanumanji becomes bigger, and she opens her mouth bigger. And as she's so busy becoming bigger and bigger and opening her mouth, Hanumanji becomes like a little mosquito, enters her mouth, and out he comes. And she's looking, she says, where's this? He says, Mataji, I did what you asked me to do. You said, enter my mouth. I did. You didn't eat me. Sorry. And she says, what a clever monkey. I was brought to test you. God bless you. And now he moves on. And when he goes further, he gets the biggest test of his time because he can't see his, opponent here. There is a demoness in the depths of the ocean called Simhika. And the Simhika's power is just lying down lazily on the floor of the ocean bed and then watching for any shadows that come across the ocean. A bird flying, whatever, and she'll be like, has the power to grab the shadow and pull it down and gobble it up. That was the way she had those powers. And so, of course, as she saw Hanumanji, shadow of Hanumanji, she started pulling Hanumanji's shadow, and of course, along with Hanumanji, and Hanumanji's like, why am I feeling so heavy? What's going on? I feel like I'm being dragged down. Realizes what's happening here, sees it's a demoness right there. With no hesitation, he just gives a big blow, kills her, and moves on. Finished her with one blow. Very, very symbolic to our life. Very symbolic on any worldly endeavors that we're taking or most important on our spiritual path. Mainak Parvata is all kinds of temptations that come when we start something. When we used to study for exams, what we would do, as soon as we knew that an exam came and we had to study, we'd say, get this book in order, make sure my table is clean, let me make sure I get my coffee, and then let me make sure that movie which I wanted to see, let me finish it off so that I won't think of it before my exam. So all the ways to procrastinate with what we would do, right? And procrastination is the biggest enemy. When we want to do something, do not procrastinate. And can you think of the spiritual path? How many things come to it? No, not today. You know what? Next time I'll make sure that I just open a book or spend a little time in Vedo Nityam Adhiyatam. How much excuses we give? We procrastinate a lot. That should be avoided. Learn from Hanumanji and say, no thanks. Let me finish my work and then I'll rest. Let me finish what I have to do. The task at hand is most important. Then came Surasa. What did she do? Try to see whether Hanuman would just, enter her mouth. But what did he do? He expanded himself, became small, expanded himself, became small and then went away. So as this is very important when you are working as a team leader or something, remember to actually sort of stay in the background when people are giving credit. Become small is become humble, stay back. Let your team also get the credit. Let them all shine with you. Let them get the credit, let them be in the forefront and see the joy that comes to all of us, all of them. So becoming small is that. And then becoming big is at times of challenges, do not hesitate. We have the power in us. We can face difficulties. We can face challenges. Invoke that power and become big. That's what it means. That's what this story stands for. And Simhika, no playing with this. This is one of the most negative emotion we can have, which is jealousy. Somewhere it creeps within us. There are antidotes for anger, antidotes for greed. There's something that we can do. But for jealousy, there's nothing. For anger, we'll say, okay, you get very angry a lot. Direct your anger to the Lord and say, Lord, how many times should I pray to you? Why don't you sort of give me some, show your anger to him? If you want, your greed is bothering you, you say, you know what? Let me turn my greed into one more japa mala. Let me be greedy about the japa I do or the time I spend in prayer. Do that. Shift it. But for jealousy, no. It's such a negative emotion, does nothing to us. Helps us in no way and actually does not make us feel good. Do not give strength to it. Do not pay too much attention to it. Weed it out right away. Jealousy should not be, let to fester within us. So Simhika stands for jealousy, who will drag us down, right? And then, of course, that when he went to give his message to Ravana and say, please, you're not playing with some ordinary person here. This is Lord himself. He's taking an incarnation and just give away Sita and you'll be fine. You can rule your Lanka. And his life was going to be in danger because they set his tail on fire. But what did he do? He set Lanka on fire and put the fear of death in every person in that kingdom. So that is Ramaduta. Messenger, being a messenger is not easy, but as a messenger of Lord Rama, even in this transit from one country to another, he showed us so many things that we can actually think of, reflect, and bring into our lives as well. And he had that potential in us, and we also have that potential in us. Being Ramaduta, he is Atulita Baladhama. The next word connects with being Ramaduta. Because his immeasurable strength came because he was Ramadut. He was the minister of Sugriva for so many years. Quietly, just, his talents, everything was kept hidden. The minute he became the servant of Lord Rama, look at all the feats he accomplished. Everything was something great. The minute he was reminded, and I'm sure you know the story of his powers. When he was young, when he was blessed by the rishis to have all kinds of powers, he was so naughty he could only use it in wrong ways and used it to trouble some rishis as well and was cursed. They said, you'll forget all your powers. You're using your powers to do all kinds of naughty things, they said. And so you'll only remember when somebody reminds you. And so when Jambavan reminded him, Hanuman, have you forgotten? You're the best one to do this job. Go and give this message to Sita ji. You're the best person. You have all that potential in you. He woke up. And after that, there's no stopping as far as feats were concerned. So Atulita Baladhama, being a messenger of the Lord, open up to a bigger vision and see what flows through each one of you. Right? And then Anjani Putra, of course, the son of Mother Anjana. Anjana, who was a pure-hearted, soul, a great devotee of Lord Shiva, prayed so much. She said, Lord Shiva, I want a son just like you. And he said, there can't be another Shiva. So I'll be born as your child. So that's why Hanuman is also, you'll see, is also called, son of, Lord Shiva. That is, Lord Shiva's powers were right through Anjana when he was born. And also, a mother is the first person who actually recognizes the talent in a child. And also the one who loves unconditionally. Of course, father too, but mother is the first to love the child unconditionally. So Hanumanji is somebody who recognizes the potential of everybody and also brings out their best and does so with the unconditional love of a mother. That is Anjani Putra, and you already know the meaning of Pavana Sutta. And finally, Nama. Nama means name. But for him, Lord Rama's name was his every breath. That mantra was there in him all the time. All the time, Ramanam was on his lips, his mind, and every pore of his body was breathing out Rama, right? So here comes the use of japa. What seems like a mechanical practice of rolling beads or sometimes just chanting the name when mind is idle is actually a very, very powerful tool. So, mananam trayate iti mantraha. That means it helps to cross over your mind. And what do you mean cross over your mind? This disturbing, distracted mind quietens down with practice of japa. It integrates our personality when practiced for a long time. This practice is not only seen in the Hindu, faith, it's seen in every faith. Practice of repetition of the holy name. It's in every faith. Okay? So his name, reciting Lord Rama's name all the time, that was part of his whole life itself. And there's a great devotee called Janabhai from Maharashtra. Very interesting little story that I've heard. And Janabai was a saint, and she was a poor lady, lived in a village, and her job was actually to make cow dung cakes. In India, you take cow dung, slap it up, and then put it on a wall, and then at the end of the day, when it dries up, you collect it, and her living was, she would take it to the person to whom she was working for. They would count the number of the cow dung cakes and pay them. So once what happened, one of her co-workers stole the one she had made. And so Janabai went to her for the evening to get her money, and she had so many, whatever she collected, she presented. And the owner was really mad at her. He said, what, this is all the work you did? And she said, no, but somebody took the cow dung cakes, which I had made. He said, how on earth are we going to find out that you're saying the truth? She said, if you tap on those cow dung cakes, you can hear them say, Vitthala, Vitthala. Vitthala, Vitthala. Because she kept, that Lord Panduranga Vitthala's name was in her breath. Every little thing that she did was she would concentrate and focus and say that mantra. So in fact, the story goes, she actually, when he did that, he could see which cow dung cakes were made by her. A very famous story of Janabai. So mantra is a very powerful tool, simple, very simple to pick it up. And I just give this, I think I've told you this even when we did Sadhana Panchakam. Any Lord you can connect to, a holy name, Sri Ram, Jai Ram,